afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline the 17th of August 2024. This week's headlines. German laws will be replaced by Sharia law, say Muslim men. Stop using the word Islamophobia and look in the mirror, says another Muslim man. Street hero Abdullah jumped on the knife attacker and disarmed him. The Mosque explosion call woman was jailed for her online post. Atheist campaigner Richard Dawkins loses his entire Facebook account for posting about putative men boxing women. The priest thought to pose risk to children is paid off. Columbia University president resigns after the Gaza protests turmoil. Arizona and Missouri join states with abortion amendments on the ballot. Here is the news in detail. Muslim men at a public gathering in Germany proclaimed, "When Muslims become the majority, we will take over Germany by force. German laws will be replaced by Sharia law. If the Germans stand against us, they will be attacked. Christians and Jews will have to convert or leave." See this video.
Die sagen, ich will hier keine Scharia in Deutschland, das ist Schwachsinn. Jeder, der sich
den Islam verändern. Du bist für authentischen Islam, so wie er ist.
Jeder, der sich als Muslim bezeichnet, muss die Scharia wollen auf der ganzen Welt. Ich will die Scharia in Deutschland auf jeden Fall.
Würdest du die deutsche Verfassung aushebeln, wenn du die Gelegenheit hättest?
Auf jeden Fall.
Okay, danke.
Wie zum Beispiel? Wie könnte man jetzt aus Deutschland einen islamischen Staat machen? Wie zum Beispiel?
Laut den Werken ist das so, dass man, wenn man in der Mehrheit ist, wie Sie auch erklärt haben, sind wir dafür befohlen, Deutschland einzunehmen, auf jeden Fall.
Also es ist eine islamische Pflicht, auch Deutschland einzunehmen.
Auf jeden Fall.
Ich respektiere deine Ehrlichkeit und du bist ja gegen die Liberalen, die jetzt sagen, nein, das stimmt nicht und wir sollen hier in Frieden leben.
Muslime zu sein. Warum?
Es ist eine Auseinandersetzung, wir oder ihr. Entweder ihr übernimmt uns oder wir euch.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Und darum gibt es diesen liberalen Islam. Gibt
es eine Unterscheidung politischer Islam und anderer Islam?
Jetzt bin ich jetzt im politischen Islam, wenn ich sage, ich will die Scharia, dann...
Ja. Nein, ich meine, Islam ist doch in alle Lebensbereiche. Kannst du sagen, Islam hat in Politik nichts zu tun?
Gar keinen Fall.
Das ist Kufr oder nicht?
Natürlich. Ja.
Und welche?
Ich verstehe die Menschen. Manchmal, man will seine Religion beschützen und dann sagt man Sachen, die nicht stimmen. Ja, das mit dem Handabschlägen gibt's nicht, etc.
Mit welchen Mitteln wollt ihr die Scharia hier installieren und einen islamischen Staat machen? Mit welchen Mitteln?
Ich rede nicht von Anschlägen jetzt, zum Beispiel, wenn ich jetzt hier einen Anschlag mache, hier, wo sie gerade demonstrieren. Das ist falsch. Ich rede davon, wenn die Muslime in der Überzahl sind, dann, wenn es sein muss, mit Gewalt.
Das ist es. Das ist
es. Auf jeden Fall.
Das ist es.
Danke, dass einer ehrlich ist und das so sagt. Danke.
Das
du bestätigst
ich habe
genau
so gedacht,
das.
30 Jahre lang habe ich so gedacht wie du. Ich habe immer einer meiner Slogans in den Moscheen. Ich habe Unterricht in Moscheen gegeben. Ich habe 2 Moscheen in Berlin mitgegründet. Ich habe immer gesagt, Deutschland verdient eine satte Islamisierung. Und ich habe immer gesagt, du weißt ganz genau, dass die Sharia bedeutet vieles. Sharia bedeutet die Regelung, wie du betest, wie du fastest, wie du zur Hajj gehst und so weiter und so fort. Die Sharia ist in jeder Moschee lebendig.
Another Muslim man tells his fellow Muslims, "The world is scared and worried about us and they have legitimate reasons. Stop using the word Islamophobia and look in the mirror. Ask yourselves why most terrorist organizations are Muslim." See this video.
Dear Muslims, the world is scared of us. The world is laughing at us. The world is worried about us. And there are legitimate reasons for their worry that we cannot just deny. It is time to flush the word Islamophobia down the toilet and start looking in the mirror and ask ourselves, How did we get here? How come the biggest and most dangerous thriving terrorist organization in the world are Muslim? How come terrorists successfully use Islam to mobilize more terrorists? What is the problem with our leaders, our books, our imams, and our religion? Why do we keep repeating these Stone Age traditions that have failed us and continue to fail us? The world has left us behind. The kuffar that our imams and books tell us to hate have traveled to the future, while we're still stuck in the Middle Ages, reading stories about Muhammad and his flying horse. You're watching this on your phone or your computer or tablet, created by these kuffars. The same kuffar that we hate so much have created most of the medicines that we use today. Medicine that our religion's crystal ball failed to bring about. The kuffar have moved forward and traveled into space. Meanwhile, we're stuck on Earth in the Middle Ages, going to our poisonous mosques every Friday, reciting the same chapters and the same stories of Prophet Muhammad. Why haven't all of these books and teachings led us to science and technology and medicine? We're stuck debating which sect is correct, which interpretation is correct, who is the kafir and who is the real Muslim. How can we convince the kuffar to become Muslims? Why on earth would anybody want to be Muslim today? They're all scared of us. They're all laughing at us. They're all worried about us. Delete Israel and the West from the world and we would still be as ignorant as we are, and we would still be stabbing each other as we are. Stop blaming them and look at yourselves in the mirror.
A heroic shop security guard has described how he helped to save an 11-year-old girl as she was being attacked by a knife man in London's Leicester Square. In a statement, the Metropolitan Police said a 32-year-old man had been arrested and taken into custody after the girl and her 34-year-old mother were stabbed. Abdullah, 29, who works at TWGT in Leicester Square, said he intervened to stop the attacker and, with help from colleagues, gave first aid to the child. The Met said it was not looking for anyone else in connection with the attack and does not believe the victims knew their attacker. The force added the girl required hospital treatment for serious but not life-threatening injuries, while her mother's wounds were more minor. Police officers remained at the scene, which is one of the busiest tourist districts in the capital. Abdullah, who likely has Muslim heritage, said, "It's horrible. To be honest, I've never seen anything like that before. To do this to a kid, it's horrible." He added that he and his colleagues gave first aid to the child before the police took over. "I just saw a kid getting stabbed and I just tried to save her," he said. "It's my duty to just save them. See this video."
I heard a scream and I just went outside and saw one guy was having a knife and he was like stabbing a kid. The moment I saw, I just jumped on that guy and grabbed his hand in which he was having a knife, and then I just put him down on the floor and then kicked the knife away from him. And in the meanwhile, a couple of more guys came as well, and then they just jumped on top of him and they just hold him for like 4 or 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, the police arrived as well, and then they just took over the person and then arrested him.
What was he doing?
The moment I saw, he was just like stabbing the kid, and I had like no time. I just jumped him. I couldn't think like what to do. Just jumped in and just hold his hand, put him on the floor, just hold him until the police comes. That's horrible, to be honest. I've never seen anything like that before.
A woman who called on Facebook for a mosque to be blown up with the adults inside has been jailed for 15 months. Julia Sweeney, 53, of Cheshire, admitted a charge of sending a communication threatening death or serious harm when she appeared at Chester Crown Court. Sweeney, from Church Lawton near Alsager, posted the comment after riots flared across England in the wake of the killings of 3 young girls in Southport last month. The court heard she was responding to an online post picturing people helping to repair the mosque in Southport after it was damaged during violent disorder that followed the stabbings. Sweeney wrote, "It's absolutely ridiculous. Don't protect the mosque. Blow the mosque up with the adults in it." She was one of a number of people appearing in courts across England on Wednesday following the widespread riots. Atheist scientist Richard Dawkins tweeted, "My entire Facebook account has been deleted. Seemingly, no reason was given, because I tweeted that genetically male boxers, such as Imain Khalif, whose XY chromosome status is undisputed, should not fight women in the Olympics. Of course, my opinion is open to civilized argument, but outright censorship?" The Church of England has made a 6-figure payoff to a priest who was assessed as a potential risk to children and young people, a BBC investigation has found. Canon Andrew Hindley, who worked in Blackburn Diocese from 1991 to 2021, was subject to 5 police investigations, including into allegations of sexual assault. He's never been charged with any criminal offences and says he has never presented any safeguarding risk to anyone. A senior member of staff at Blackburn Cathedral resigned over the settlement and says that concerns about the priest were an open secret among senior clergy. The former Bishop of Blackburn, Julian Henderson, described the financial settlement when he was in post as the only option left for the church to protect children and vulnerable young people from the risks Canon Hindley posed. The Archbishops of Canterbury and York have told the BBC they are still working to get the church processes right and must learn from past mistakes. Despite many people approached being unwilling to talk, the BBC's 2-year investigation also found restrictions on Canon Hindley banning him from school choir and school visits were never monitored. The Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend Justin Welby, backed a plan to close Blackburn Cathedral if the priest returned to work after being suspended. 3 Lancashire bishops complained that strings have been pulled and networks have been used to effect Canon Hindley's ongoing ministry. There were previous attempts to pay the priest to leave, dating back more than 15 years. Columbia University President Minouche Shafik has resigned from her position 4 months after the institution was rocked by campus protests over the war in Gaza. Dr. Shafik's resignation comes only a year after she took the position at the private Ivy League university in New York City, and just a few weeks before the autumn semester is due to begin. Dr. Shafik is now the 3rd president of an Ivy League university to resign over her handling of Gaza war protests. In April, Dr. Shafik authorized New York Police Department officers to swarm the campus, which was a controversial decision that led to the arrests of about 100 students who are occupying a university building. The episode marked the first time that mass arrests had been made on Columbia's campus since Vietnam War protests more than 5 decades ago. The move inflamed other protests at dozens of colleges across the United States and Canada. In an email to students and the faculty on Wednesday, Dr. Shafik wrote that she has overseen a period of turmoil where it has been difficult to overcome divergent views across our community. This period has taken a considerable toll on my family. Election officials in Arizona and Missouri this week announced that abortion rights supporters in their states had gathered enough petition signatures to put proposed amendments on the ballot, enshrining abortion rights into their states' constitutions. The decisions mean voters in more than half a dozen states will now be deciding abortion measures this fall. The proposals are likely to drive up voter turnout in November, potentially affecting elections for president, Congress, governor, and other state offices. The US Supreme Court removed the nationwide right to abortion back in 2022, and that sparked a national push to have voters decide. So since the decision, most Republican-controlled states have passed abortion restrictions, including 14 that ban it at every stage of pregnancy, while most Democratic-led states have laws or executive orders to protect access to abortion. Voters in all of the 7 states that have had abortion questions posed since 2022, that's Kansas, California, Kentucky, Michigan, Montana, Ohio and Vermont, have sided with abortion rights supporters. I'm not available for a Free Thought Hour chat show today, but Tasia may be, and Views on the News is scheduled for tomorrow. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.